Hi everybody, it's Helen McConnell from helenmcconnell.com. Thanks for joining me. Tonight I want to talk about panic. And I'm not a diagnostician, I'm not a clinical psychologist or psychiatrist, but I know what it's like to have a panic attack. In a nutshell, and this is pretty consistent from my own experience and experience of people who I've spoken with, clients and others, a panic attack basically feels like you're going to die. So you panic and the panic attack continues. It's like we inadvertently feed the panic. I had a panic attack not that long ago. It was at the beginning of COVID, so probably around in March or April. I hadn't had one that I was aware of as an adult, but I knew I was having a panic attack. Fortunately, I know tapping. Fortunately, I kept my wits about me enough to start tapping. And this is what I did. So if you get a panic attack, if you feel one coming on, start tapping right away. Just start tapping. This soothes your nervous system, and that's one of the most important things you can do. It also can distract you a little bit from the panic attack. But what I did was I said, I'm having a panic attack. I feel like I'm going to die, but I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die. I'm just having a panic attack, But I tapped the whole time. And it didn't take long before the intensity of the panic attack went way down. And here's what the other thing that tapping will do. And you can tap through all the points and just say what's going on. Say, I can hardly breathe. My heart's racing. I feel like I'm going to die. But if you can remind yourself, I'm having a panic attack. I'm having a panic attack. Remind yourself what's going on as you tap. And if you can get your panic attack to reduce in intensity through tapping, then you begin to retrain your nervous system. And you also don't feel so alone or so powerless. Okay, so when you notice those sensations coming on, as soon as you notice, as soon as you remember, start tapping. Tap on the side of the hand, top of the head, tap around the points. What I would recommend then, once the panic has been dissipated, neutralized down to 0 or close to 0, well, tap a little more until it goes down to 0. And here's the follow-up. Think about what was it that brought on that panic attack. Just see if you can notice. Tap while you notice, always. I know you don't want to notice what brought it on for fear that it'll bring on another one. But I would recommend that you think about what was I thinking or what was happening. And for me, back in March, I was in a physical position that felt like pressure on my chest. And I'd already heard about details about how people with COVID were dying. So I got momentarily really scared, which doesn't help anything. So the first thing after your intensity goes down to a 0, tap like this and say, I restore right energy, flow, and balance. And then to the eyebrow, to my breathing. And just tap around all the points. Don't have to say anything. If you want to tap a little longer on each point, that's fine. And then take a moment, inhale and exhale. And if your situation isn't about not feeling like you can breathe, then you release all your emotional attachments to, here's another one. This is probably the cause of most panic attacks, is our mind projecting out into the future or sideways, stirring up all kinds of things. And we can't always control what your mind thinks, but you can learn to control how you react to those thoughts. And if you're projecting out into the future, there's nothing you can do about those projections except learn to stop them. What a lot of people do is believe the projections, or at least the feelings that come from those projections, and that's the panic. If that's a problem for you, projecting, then I encourage you to do this often, even before you feel a panic attack coming on. Just say, I release all my emotional attachments. And go ahead and repeat that. And on the eyebrow, to the projections my mind is putting out. On the side of the eye, about COVID-19 or about finances or about whatever you're worried about. Okay. And then you just finish tapping around. Under the arm. And you take a nice deep breath. And once you learn to reduce your panic attacks, you might be able to at least spend a little more time thinking about what is the deep-rooted cause of these panic attacks. And what I suggest is, as you're thinking about those things, just keep tapping. Tapping works because we bring up the negative, which agitates the nervous system, which I promise you is probably already agitated. And then tapping soothes the nervous system, which basically rewrites your neural networks in your brain. Sends a whole new message. Basically, this is oversimplification. We're saying, oh, I'm thinking that thought that usually causes a panic attack, but I'm tapping on myself, so I must be okay. And then, oh, I am okay. Oh, I'm still okay. You just keep tapping. I'm not just making up that this soothes the nervous system. There is just tons of research that proves that this soothes the nervous system. It lowers cortisol rates, which is the stress hormone, in a way that almost nothing else does. And think about it. It's with you all the time. Literally, at your fingertips. You can tap through the points. You can use these fingertips. If you experience panic attacks once in a while or often, I want to help you so that you know that you have the tools with you to not have to suffer anymore. All right, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check in on all my other videos about tapping and what it can do for you. My name's Helen McConnell. I wish you inner peace and joy. Thanks for watching.